So first topic of the day and the question around innovation, since it's a great segue from what we were just discussing. So innovation for MSPs. Do MSPs want to innovate? Do they want to change? How do we see the industry as a whole? But I say 3 to 5 years. I'm happy for you to go longer or short if you want, Jamie. I think 3 to 5 years is a good, in my opinion, good time frame to go. Well, look how far we've come in the last 10 years from tech all around the world and how that's really pushed industries, especially around COVID. So yeah, I'd love to dive into this, man. Love your experience or your thought process around all things innovation in the MSP space.
Absolutely. Look, I guess the question of do MSPs want to change? Well, largely speaking, that the answer would have to be yes. Of course, I think most MSPs want to improve and change and grow and all that sort of stuff. But what my observation has been now, speaking to hundreds of MSPs around the world, is that that if you didn't know, 80% of MSPs pretty much turn over $3 million and below, and 60% are $1 million and below. That's basically an industry of a lot of awesome but small businesses, right? And what's the thing that most small businesses struggle with? Time. They don't have time to do anything, let alone try and be innovative and try and focus on the on it stuff. So they're traditionally going to be working in the business more than on the business. And I was certainly there when I was growing mine, and you sort of have to get to a certain point in size, but also mindset, I have to say, to work on it. So in terms of innovation and customer experience, what my observation has been is that it's not well, innovation specifically, it's not front of mind regularly. It's like a spurts of like, oh, we should do something with our RMM tool and try and automate that, and then there's a fire over there, or a new server you need to go and set up, or a project you have to execute, and then that mind of like that sort of concept of doing some innovative stuff around your RMM suddenly gets drawn out to a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then they haven't done anything. And I know that because my guys were always saying that with the RMM tool we use, and it took years for them to actually just get on with it and actually do some stuff about it. So I think over the next 3 to 5 years, whether MSPs like it or not, because of vendors like us, because of people trying to push the boundaries, and because of challenges and, I guess people challenging the traditional model. So it's probably poignant to bring up electric.ai or electric.io, whatever they're called. I think it's AI. Is
Yeah.
those guys have raised well over $100 million now, or more, like $200 million, whatever it is. And most people would think, well, they're clearly a tech business. Well, they're not. They're just an MSP. They've just got a sprinkling of tech inside. They're never going to commercialize it, or maybe they will, but I don't think so. They are pretty much trying to build a modern MSP focused on innovation. And so these are the things, it's the vendors like us, it's people like that are going to challenge the status quo, that are going to make these MSPs have a wee think about what they're doing. Because, Electric's go to market is pretty much, yeah, the whole industry does it the old way. We do it the new way. You've got to get on this bandwagon. It's brilliant. Like, who wouldn't want to lap that up? If you're a new customer looking to sign
Yeah.
up a new IT partner and the partner's talking like that, and then the other option that they're looking at is like, yeah, I use mouse pads and stickers, and yeah, if you want to contact us, it's just email and phone. Like, that's ridiculous. So the funny thing is that the consumer world is going to push innovation, like it always has, and then it's B2B SaaS businesses and these sort of things that pick up on it over time. I mean, a great example is Dropbox and Office 365, OneDrive, SharePoint, where Dropbox always had the ability to only sync the data that you needed, so it didn't clog up the space on your thing. And then eventually, Office 365 got there, but they were a bit slow to do it. So, I think innovation's coming, and MSPs are going to have to just find the time to make sure that they do implement some of these amazing things that are being produced, because it makes a difference. It genuinely makes a difference in terms of growth, sales, conversion, happier customers, retention, all that sort of stuff.
Happy at text. Yeah, I think you make a really good point there, and I agree with everything you're saying. I won't repeat what you said, but the consumer, the end user, the business, the customer, they're the ones that are pushing to want more.
Mm.
I'm still got my sales hat on in our Crofty MSP here in Brisbane. Still talking to customers and using it as really good R&D and feedback on how we build our platform within Tribu. And I asked the customer directly, every time I go to a meeting, what do you want from a tech support company? What do you want from an MSP? Well, firstly, they all go, what's an MSP? They've got no idea what an MSP is. They're like, no, we just need tech support. And secondly, it's like, cool, what do you want from a tech support company? They're like, well, we know that our business has been running like this, Excel spreadsheets, using these apps in our business for the last 10, 15, 20 years. We know there must be a better way. We want help to figure out a better way. Now, the MSPs offer that consulting service. Yeah, there are a handful around the world that really can dive into that process of proven and consulting and really figure that out. But most MSPs don't sell that. They sell, we'll do an IT audit for you. It's always straight to forward. We'll do an IT audit. I understand what's in your business, and then we'll put a plan forward on how we can make you a bit more innovative. But the innovation from what MSPs, and I can be completely wrong here, but I've spoken to 5,000 plus MSPs around the world now, is majority, and 80 or 90% is Office 365. Let's migrate you to the cloud, get you into the cloud. Once you're in the cloud, you're now in the new era of innovation in the tech space. That's only one aspect. In my honest opinion, that's a starting point. That's like the foundation. Let's just get the foundation right when it comes to the business. And this is I'm talking about as the end user, the organization that you're supporting. Let's get the foundation right. Then what are the next steps? And they want to be pushed. They want their tech company and their MSP and their IT support company to really push the boundaries. They want to cool. I want you to help me take my business from where I am now to where I want to get to. Now, if that's what the consumer wants, and I'd love to get your 2 cents on it, but if that's what I'm hearing, if that's what the consumer wants, it's what the business wants. If we fast forward 3 to 5 years from now, where does that leave MSPs? If they're going to be still pushing boxes, doing what they've been supporting for a long time, not really changing the way they think or what they go to market with, where does that leave them in the market?
Behind. And inevitably it's just anemic growth is the difference. So I mean, the upside of being an MSP is that it is a relationship business, and therefore people work with people, and churn is low and these sorts of things. But I think and so even talking about the electric example, I know in the community a lot of MSPs go, no, that doesn't affect me. Well, it may not affect you from a churn perspective, fair call, but it will from a growth perspective, because when it comes to actually winning new business, then you'll struggle. And the irony of all of this is that the number one complaint of most MSPs that they want to focus on is sales and growth, but the number one thing they actually focus on is just doing technical support and working in the business. So they won't sort of implement the innovative sales methodology or innovative tools to deliver excellence around customer experience and those innovations, etc. So, and engineer productivity, etc. So it's, yeah, look, I agree with what you're saying, and it's I think the more it is spoken about, and the more that there's oxygen over and above what PSA and RMM tool you use, I think the better in that regard.
Yeah, 100%. It's there's a hot topic of conversation in all the forums that I'm in, Slack groups, Tech Tribe online forums around the world, Facebook groups, that the electric AI conversation is definitely a hot topic right now. There's like electric AI conversation, cybersecurity, how do I improve my MSP, and how do I get more sales? That's typically what I'm seeing in all these groups. The electric AI one is quite interesting, where it's like, one, they're just giving us a bad name in the industry. They shouldn't exist. That's one part of it. The other comments I've been seeing is, we did lose a customer, Electric AI. They went with them for 3 months. They didn't like the service they offered, so they came back to us. So we're totally fine. We don't have to worry about it. I'm like, oh my God, they're just getting their shit together, guys. They've just raised $150 million. They've just closed Series C. They've just hired 400 techs and engineers. They're already over $20 million in annual recurring revenue. annual recurring revenue. This is a key sticking point, right? Most
They've actually hit
MSPs.
40. They've hit 40.
Oh, 40? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. That's jumped really quickly. And that's annual recurring revenue. Now, think about this, right? Most MSPs, you say, let's call it the 60% are under $1 million a year. Do you think that's $1 million in recurring revenue? No. There's still a big portion of MSPs that do not break even every single month. They have to bring projects in the door and close those sales to just break even or then somewhat make a profit.
Correct.
These guys are already doing, as you said, $40 million in recurring revenue. Think of that as a base before you even add projects on top of that. It's just absolutely insane. So yeah, okay, they're shitting on a lot of people right now in the industry. They're pissing off a lot of people. But fast forward 3 to 5 years, if the MSP industry doesn't step forward and try to compete with these guys, there's going to be a lot of heads turning, I believe.
Well, they'll just get bigger, and then their marketing engine will get better, and it's what happened with Office 365 and Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft did a pretty damn good job of promoting their tool set. Like, it was everywhere, and when that starts happening, as you alluded to earlier, it is the customer that then starts driving that conversation, which is a shame. Because then they'll start asking you, going, "Oh, I saw this over here, pretty innovative. Do you guys do that?" And then you're scrambling because you hadn't thought about it. So, do you want to be a laggard, or do you want to sort of be a bit more proactive in terms of your own destiny? And it's a fascinating debate. And I guess there are a lot of innovative MSPs out there. There are a lot, but it's always statistically a lower percentage. Like, most are just battling away doing their thing, which is admirable, and it's awesome, and that's totally cool too. But I think driving some innovation and focusing on customer experience it's just got to change. Because here's the thing around customer experience, and I've been saying this when I even didn't know what I was doing, right? Trying to run an MSP. Like 15 years ago, I knew this basic fact. I said to every technical person that we sign up, I said, we are not a technology company. We are a customer service business that happens to be in technology. So if we're a customer service business, largely speaking, the only way we lose clients is through poor customer experience. And so what that means is you're saying to a client, yep, I'll get that done. And you don't. Yes, I'll get back to you with that quote. And you don't on time. And you just continually do things like that. Those are the things where you lose clients over, because they lose confidence. They lose confidence because you don't come to them, as you were alluding to before, with innovative ways that they could potentially do stuff, for their business. And then they go, I feel like I'm just telling the IT provider what to be doing, because they're basically just sort of got this break fix of set up some basic stuff mindset. And so these it's really important to sort of talk about all this sort of stuff more, and get oxygen away from some of the other topics, which really centers around some of those other things. And I know